When I got off the plane, a notification popped up on my phone. It was an announcement of my wife's wedding to her lover on social media. I rushed to the company, but I was stopped by the HR director at the elevator. "You are fired. Our company doesn't need freeloaders like you." I was utterly confused. Wasn't this my own company? "Is this a direct order from Claire Luna?" I inquired. "Ha ha, you are just a nobody in the company. Why would our president, Ms. Luna, bother with you? This is Mr. White's order." I laughed in disbelief. "Since when did Evan White speak for my wife? Where are they?" I asked the HR director. "They are finally having their wedding on the top floor of the banquet hall. You need to leave now, as the top floor is only accessible to the executives." Upon hearing that, I pushed the HR director away. I immediately pulled out my identification card and tapped it on the access scanner. Beep. Highest authorization confirmed. "Welcome back." I felt dizzy for a moment when I saw the sign on the door of the banquet hall. "Welcome to our wedding." Claire's voice came through the door. "Thank you everyone for taking the time to attend my wedding with Evan, as well as the baby shower." The journey. When I pushed the door open, I could feel the lively atmosphere inside. My mother-in-law, Susan Lynette, had always been cold to me. She suddenly smiled at me while holding a baby. Meanwhile, my wife was kissing another familiar-looking man in front of everyone. As they parted, I clenched my fists amidst the cheers of the guests. Evan, that ungrateful scumbag. When his family's company was facing bankruptcy, Evan turned to Claire. Claire, for the first time in our 10-year marriage, begged me to help him. She asked me to hand over the project I had completed to him. Evan, who was on the other end of the phone, also pleaded with me. He claimed he would repay my kindness one day. I knew they had both grown up together as kids, but Claire had sworn to me whatever they had before was all in the past. Furthermore, she informed me that she had arranged an easy position for Evan at the company. What an easy job indeed. Wasn't it just being the child's dad? Our president, Ms. Luna, is so blessed. Her husband is a top investment banker, and now she has both a successful career and a happy family. I'm so envious. The executives around continued to flatter her. Susan, who was standing on the side listening, said smugly, "That's right. Evan is not only capable, but also he's got great genes. This child looks very much like his dad." The whole banquet hall was immediately filled with joy. Evan smiled as he wrapped his arms around Claire's waist. I felt nauseous looking at them. When I first joined the company, I didn't have many achievements. As a result, I didn't announce my relationship with Claire publicly. Now that I've completed the UI project, I finally feel confident enough to hold this wedding ceremony, Evan said. As I listened from below the stage, I let out a cold laugh. When did he ever complete the UI project? I had always been the only one overseeing the entire project, apart from liaising with Claire. Now it all made sense. Claire stood up with a smile when she heard her lover shower her with praise. Evan didn't want people to misunderstand him, so he had kept it a secret for so long. "Ms. Luna, don't worry about it. Mr. White is such an outstanding young man." After hearing so much praise, Evan was about to raise his glass to make a toast. Looking over the crowd, he suddenly noticed me, who was standing below the stage. He quickly stood up and looked toward Claire beside him. I didn't give them time to react. I charged forward and kicked Evan onto the ground. The sudden